Hey, what's going on? So, we are going to do a reaction video here, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen cuz I want y'all to see what I'm talking about. And we're going to go from there.
Give me the shirt. Come on. I ain't the children of the lie. Let's go. Come on. One shirt.
Jesse! Jesse!
What in the world going on out here?
All these people are here for the merch and we're sold out.
They're here for the merch?
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's amazing. The merch is amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Subscribe now.
When times get tough, you need to get proud. No need to look backward, put your feet on the ground. Stand up, stand up.
Welcome to the Fallen State. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Help us fight censorship by hitting the thumb.
He must already know something is up. Look how he already looking. But just a little talk back about Jesse. Jesse Lee Peterson is a very funny guy to me. He speaks some truth in some ways. But I do not believe and I do not agree with everything that Jesse says. That is my disclaimer for this video. But I want y'all to watch this video and let me know in the comments what y'all think. And also y'all go like, share, and subscribe to Go Family. And so we can build this channel and put out more content each and every day, every week, every month for you guys. And let's get into it.
Thumbs up button, and then don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. You can ring my bell. Ring the bell, all right? I have with me today Pastor Kurt D. Thomas. He's a senior pastor of the Renewed Church of Los Angeles. Am I right?
That is correct.
Renewed Church of Los Angeles. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
I absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you.
And so, were you called to be a pastor, or did you go to school for it?
Well, at the age of 9, I felt the presence of God over me. I grew up in a Pentecostal church, so I went through that entire Pentecostal experience. And it wasn't until I matriculated through college that I decided to get a bachelor's degree in theology, or to study theology while I was at Stillman College.
Oh, I see. So God didn't call you. You just you decided to go
no.
to school for it.
No. I believe that I was called by God to do what I do.
Oh, you do.
Yes.
And why do you believe that?
Why do I believe that I was called? I know that I'm called to do what I do because
His questions are like direct. So you gotta watch what you say and listen to yourself how you answer, cause boy, he coming with these questions.
because I have a passion and I have a desire to see people elevated from where they are to where they need to be.
Oh, okay. And when you say where they are, do you believe that human beings are in a fallen state?
Yes.
Explain what you mean by that. In a
Fallen.
state.
You're a pastor. You should know.
Yeah, but explain what do you mean by a fallen state?
Do you know? Do you believe that human beings are in a fallen state? You know what fallen means,
A
right?
fallen state means that they've fallen from the grace of God.
Yes.
Is that what you're okay?
Right.
So I believe that that humans have fallen from a fallen state, but with the whole deal with reconciliation, I think that God reconciles us back to Himself.
So you do agree then that human beings have fallen away from God, right?
That humans have fallen away from God according to Adam and all
Right.
that. Yes.
And then at some point, those who seek Him will come back.
Those who seek Him are that he's called back to them, yes, then they will.
Is
come
it
back.
or
He said, "You're a pastor. You should know." He's so funny.
is it possible to overcome that fallen state?
It is possible to overcome that fallen state if we accept Christ back into our hearts.
Right.
So
How does one know when they're in a fallen state?
well, a person will know that they're in a fallen state when is when they don't live a life that's acceptable. I believe that's really acceptable to themselves. So like a person that is a drug addict or a person that is drinks too much liquor, a person that maybe not.
And Bless in the chat said you have to answer carefully with him. That's the truth. You gotta answer carefully with him because he'll get you in a hole.
Possibly not living their best life or doing what they're called to do. I think that those people are the people that find themselves in a fallen state.
So when they're not living their life according to God, and they're in a fallen state.
If you're not living a life that is according to the principles of God, yes,
Then you're in a fallen
then
state.
you're in a fallen state.
So so if I read, and I don't know if it's true or not, I like to ask the person before I mention,
Okay.
know if it's true or not. Are you a homosexual?
I am a same gender loving man.
So does that mean you're a homosexual?
It means that I'm a same gender loving man.
But just
He don't want to admit, but he's a same gender loving man. Come on now, are you homosexual? What are you? What are you identified as?
I'm black and slow.
Okay.
And just for the record, does that mean you're a homosexual?
I could be considered a homosexual.
Are you
yes.
considered? I don't want to think of you if you're
Yeah,
not.
I'm a homosexual.
You're a homosexual?
Yes.
And so you're a homosexual pastor?
But I am a homosexual pastor, yes.
How long have you been a homosexual pastor?
I've been a pastor for 8 years, senior pastor, and then before that, prior to that, I was a youth pastor.
Oh, okay. Why do you think that God would call
Uh-oh. Watch this.
a person, a homosexual, to be a pastor but not change him?
So I don't think that God majors where we minor. And so I think that what happens is I think that we put limitations on God that God doesn't have. For example, we could, if you go to seminary or something like that, you find out that there's a thought process that God could possibly be a woman, or that God could be this, or that God could be that.
What?
That God can be whatever it is that you need him to be.
You believe that he
This is crazy. These people always be talking about limitations on God and all this stuff, trying to make God what they want him to be. So that's crazy. God is not a woman.
can be a woman?
I believe that God can be whatever it is that you need him to be.
So could he be a homosexual too if you needed him to be one?
No.
Well, honestly, I don't think that God, the Bible says that God is neither male nor female.
Right. So how can
So-
he be a woman then if he's not a female?
Well, I'm saying that. So there's a book that's by who's the book by? There's a book that is written. It's called what is it called?
Well, that's all right by the title. What about the book?
But in the book, the principles of the book talk about God swaying himself to the spirit, and it's called The Shack by W.M. Paul Young. And so if you read that book, then you find out that God basically finds himself congruent to whatever state of mind a person is in. And so at one state, God is a Jewish carpenter. At one state, God shows himself as a big black woman in the kitchen cooking.
Big black woman?
A black woman in the kitchen
What is he talking about?
cooking. And so
That's true, and bless. People make up things to benefit them. So they try to create God to be something that he's not, so they can be justified. Come on, man.
So you think God could be a big black woman?
I think that God can be whatever it is that you need God to
Really?
be at that moment.
Do you think that God could be a homosexual too?
I don't. If God needs to be a homosexual, I think that he was, but I don't liken him to that. I don't liken the word. I don't liken God to be, to be an isolated gender.
So you believe that God could be a woman, a big black woman,
God
a
could
homosexual?
be. God could be whatever you need God to be.
It's
And
crazy.
so does that person make God what they want him to be in their mind so they can accept being wrong? Or
I don't-
does God switch genders and all that kind of stuff?
I don't think that. I don't think that God, that we create God to be whatever we want God to be in our minds. I think that it's based on experiences. The experiences of that person allows God to transform himself in whatever it is that that person needs to be. For an example, if you've ever gone to Africa, or if you've ever gone to a part of the world where there's no westernized religions, to where people they don't have an isolated form of who Jesus is or what he looks
Right.
like, opposed to what you were talking about earlier.
Right.
We don't know what he looks like, and so since that, God becomes whatever it is that that person's
But
experiences
those countries
allow them
that
to
don't
be.
believe in God, they are S-hole countries, and they're all trying to come here now and bring their S-hole attitudes.
Their S-hole, what is that?
Huh?
What is that?
What is S-hole country? It's an S-H-I-T hole.
Oh, you're saying that they're S-hole countries.
Right, because those people don't believe in God.
I wouldn't say that they don't believe in God. I would say
They don't
that-
believe in the real God. They have their own made-up God based on their imagination, right?
I wouldn't say that. I would say that we experience God on the level that we know God. So if you have somebody that is an Indian and they've never had anyone explain to them the ideology of God that is created here in Western culture, then I think that
What
that
is
person,
Western culture?
I think a lot of people are trying to make God what they call now non-binary or something like that. And that's where you're not identified as male or female. So I guess you're identified by pronouns and all this different stuff. So I guess that's what he's trying to make God, non-binary or whatever. But God is not a woman. God is God. God's a man.
Western culture is where
He's our father at that. Let me put that in there.
we are now.
Oh.
It's what we operate in a canonized version of the Bible, in which we accept as the authentic truth of
But
who
Western culture is the best culture, right?
I wouldn't say that.
Then why everybody trying to come here? If we're not the best, if Western culture is not the best culture, why everybody trying to come to what's not the best culture?
Is everybody trying to come here?
Everybody and their mama. Have you noticed we can't even keep the illegals out?
I wouldn't
The
say that
illegals are
everybody's
breaking.
trying to come here,
Yeah,
but
they
I will
are.
say that there are people that are trying
From all over the world.
to come here from all over the world.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if we are not the best country, why are they trying to come here? Why don't they go to the best country?
We could consider ourselves to be the best country,
But we
and
are the
maybe
best.
and
And that's
maybe
because of Western culture.
Well, I wouldn't use the word best, maybe. I would use the word, we're probably a country where people are allowed to be free and be themselves.
So we're the best.
If you say best, then I'll go with that.
So I want to go back. You say God is a black woman.
I didn't say God was a black woman. I used the book as an analogy
That God was
to,
a black
to
woman.
show us that God could be whatever it is that we need God to be.
Amazing. Do you believe that book?
I believe that God could be whatever it is that we want God to be.
Really?
Yes.
And so you've been a homosexual all your life. You said earlier, right?
At the age of
You wanna break?
9, I knew that I liked the same sex. Yes.
How did you become that way?
I didn't become that way. I knew that was my innate nature to like men.
And so how did your nature go from a natural nature of being a man or male to an unnatural nature of becoming a woman? How did that happen?
You said the unnatural nature of me becoming a woman?
Yeah, how, if you were born a natural male, right?
You're born a natural male.
Right. You were, right?
I am a male currently sitting here in front of you.
But how did you go from being a natural male to an unnatural woman?
Who's an unnatural woman?
But isn't homosexuality is like being a female feelings?
No,
What is it?
no.
What is it exactly?
Being gay is or being gay, being a homosexual, whatever term like that a person wants to
Right.
use to identify themselves. It's an innate state of being. It means that this is who that person is. If I'm not a woman, I'm a man sitting here in front of you having a conversation. I have a penis, just like you have.
Well,
a
you do
penis.
have the male parts, but now they're cutting that off too. Did you hear about that? We'll get to that. But do you feel inwardly? Do you feel like a male or you feel like a female?
I am a male sitting here in front of you.
No, but what do you feel
I
like?
feel
on
like
inside?
a male. And
Inside?
I am a male sitting here in front
I
of you.
realize that, but inside, do you feel like a man or you feel like a woman?
I am a male sitting here in front of you. So that answers your question, right?
I know.
I
but
don't feel like anything because I am a male.
You don't feel like neither male nor woman.
I am a male sitting here in front of you.
I realize that, but what made you think you're a homosexual then?
These questions that he asked him are actually really good. If he says he's a male and he don't feel like a woman, the next question that he just asked was, "What makes you homosexual?" Which I know, it's probably because he's attracted to the same sex. But the questions that he asked him are like they're good questions. Like these questions that should be asked to kind of get an understanding.
If there's not a
What makes
feeling on
me-
the inside, why do you think you're homosexual?
Homosexuality is not a feeling; it's a state of being. It's who the person innately is. It has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with creating a feeling that you're talking about. It's an innate. It's the innate nature of who that person is. I innately am who I am. Me being gay or homosexual has nothing to do for me with being a man. It has everything to do with my preference and who I choose to sleep with.
What does the word innately mean? What does that mean? I'm black and slow. I don't know what that means.
The word innate, the word innate means that it is that I'm not changing or I'm not becoming something else. I am who I am.
Just before we started the show, you said that you introduced your. Is he your husband or your wife? Is that your husband? He gonna be your husband or your wife?
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna end
Uh-oh.
this interview.
Why?
Because we're ending this right now.
Why you want to end?
We're ending it.
Well,
Take
wait,
this
come
off.
back.
Take this off. When you want to have a real conversation,
I'm
call
having-
me.
I'm-
No, you're bullshitting me.
Come
and
back.
I'm not gonna be a part.
That's crazy. He's a pastor and now he's cursing at him. That's crazy. I don't believe you should be I don't believe that you should be saved and curse at somebody when you get upset. So that's crazy for him to even say that he's a pastor and now he's cursing at him. And then on top of that, he says he's homosexual and he's a pastor and all that, but that's crazy.
Part of that. Come take this off of me, or I'm gonna take it with me.
But why are you running?
Come take this off of me, or I'm gonna take it with me. Please take it off of me.
Really,
Because
come take it
you're
off.
disrespecting me.
But no, I'm
So-
asking you really.
Please take it off.
Am
or
I
I'm gonna
asking him
take
a
it
real
with
serious
me.
question?
No, I'm saying, just let them take their recording. We're trying to get a reaction. What's that?
It's okay.
No, that's not what
Okay,
we're doing.
so
Just take it off.
yeah.
But
Is
tell me
it-
why
is
you're
it
running.
down?
I'm not running, sir, but when you want to have a real conversation,
We'll get-
you have my information. You can
But you
call
said
me.
that you were gonna.
When you want to have a real conversation,
You said
When
that
you
you gonna
wanna have
marry
a real
this-
conversation,
You said
you
you gonna
can call
marry
me.
this guy.
when you want to have, he's a guy. You're calling him a female. You're being disrespectful.
I asked if you gonna call him husband or wife. Come back. Do you want to be interviewed? No. Amazing.
He said, amazing. That is crazy. Why you running? He said a real conversation. He's having a real conversation. He said, the man that you're marrying, is he going to be your husband and wife? Because usually homosexuals, they usually have this thing where one of the partners are kind of more feminine than the other. And it's just crazy how they play these roles, and one is more feminine, one is more masculine. And it's crazy though how they don't want to have a real conversation. He said, let's have a real conversation. Call me when you want to have a real conversation. But he don't want to have the real conversation because the man is asking him real questions. Like, what are you doing? This is crazy. Jesse be asking some real questions. Like I say, I don't agree with everything Jesse believes, but he be asking real questions. And I know it's crazy. I'm gonna play the rest of this video and see what else he's gonna say. He said, amazing.
Well, they gone. That's amazing. They gone. They walked away. So the deal is that was Pastor Kurt D. Thomas. And Kurt D. Thomas is a senior pastor of the Renewed Church.
Yeah, that's true, Don Demichi. That's what it is, playing house. That's what they be doing, playing house. Like, he's asking real questions. He said, when you want to have a real conversation, call me back. You could have sat down and had a real conversation then.
Of Los Angeles. And he is a admitted homosexual pastor. And what he does is he works with men. They host a monthly men's group, they say. So I wanted to know about all that. But just before we started the show, he introduced this other male, a black male, that he said that they're going to get married soon. And I know that these people are doing that, and they're calling it marriage. So I want to just kind of lay out that first. I had no idea that he was going to run, because if they are proud of being what they are, and they say that it's normal, you would think that they would want to talk about it.
Exactly.
But apparently not. And so I don't know what's going to happen. But he's gone. There's no use in praying for him anymore. He's gone.
Jesse is funny, man. But thank y'all for watching, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Go Family. We'll be doing another reaction video probably tonight. I'll probably do it tonight. I probably won't do it Wednesday. And then y'all come back and y'all watch the one tonight. It's gonna be funny, and we're gonna have Jesse back again tonight. So y'all come see what he talking about, and we'll go from there. Thank y'all again. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one.